you.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome in.
Hello.
Oh
Hi.
Guys, welcome to Highlight Heroes, where we do mini painting, other crafts, and talk to amazing D&D community members. And guys, boy, do we have an amazing community member for you here today. Hulda, thank you for joining us.
You can't say stuff like that. I'm just gonna start blushing. Hello, thank you for having me. That's so lovely.
Oh, we are so
Oh God,
excited.
I'm so flustered now.
Well, okay, so where to start it off, where do we find you? What are you working on, and how do people follow you if they aren't already?
Yes, so I'm a Hobbit's Tale on pretty much every social media except for Instagram. It's just Hobbit's Tale because someone annoyingly took A. You can find me also exactly D&D related. You find me either on Twitch on Summerbound, where I DM 2 campaigns, the Wayward Wanderers and the Brutal Brotherhood, with loads of other cosplay TikTokers. And you can also find me on Tankers and Treasures, which is a podcast that I do where I play Celine, who is a swashbuckler, and I'm actually working on her costume right now, which is very on brand. And I also do a Call of Cthulhu game called Call of Dice on Twitch. So I do a lot of games because I have no job and no life, so I'll just try to keep myself busy and have fun while I'm at it.
So you're living your best life, is what you're telling us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Technically, like absolutely dirt poor, but you know what? I'm vibing.
Well, we're going to learn a lot about that best life when we start asking you some questions here in a minute. But first of all, we're going to ask announcements. How good was that segue? I'm sorry. That was
so
a good segue.
I'm sorry that I hit my mic in the middle of it.
We're pros here. We do a really
so
good
sorry.
job. So first, we're going to do a few announcements. Yeah. Parker, why don't you lead us off?
Hi guys, what's up? I'm going to talk about our schedule this week. So we have our regular weekly campaigns, so you guys can catch Off the Rails on the 22nd. That is Friday at 7 p.m. You can catch Conundrum Company, same Conundrum time, same Conundrum place, Saturdays at 6 p.m. And then we have Cosplay Ground. Our next episode of Cosplay Ground is this Sunday at 6 p.m. That is the show where you guys can catch us revealing people's costumes as we introduce their characters, as they'll be dressed as them. So come watch some cosplayers play some D&D in character, in cosplay. On to you, Josh.
So excited for all of that, guys. I'm just going to tell you all about this week's charity, or this month's charity. Guys, we are backing UNICEF this month. So we'd like you to focus your attention and efforts towards UNICEF USA. UNICEF USA supports UNICEF's work and other efforts in support of the world's children through fundraising, advocacy, and education in the United States. You can click on the donate button down below and go ahead and walk over to their page and make a donation there. That's where we ask, we love the subscriptions, we love the followers, but if you really want to do some good, we'd really appreciate y'all donating it. I will just one quick last minute announcement, because this is a random thing that we're doing right now, is we currently have a haberdashery. If you would like a cool twee hat, you can click on the link that the mods are going to put in the chat here, and you can go on over to our very special hat store to buy a twee hat. They aren't in our normal store. The normal store is still in the regular place. You click on that store button, go get some stickers or cool stuff there. But if you really want a twee hat, you can go over to the link the mods are providing. Maybe there's some other neat little things there that are available right now. It's kind of limited time, so take a look, see what's going on, and maybe get yourself a ball cap. Okay, is that it, Parker? Is that all the announcements?
The fact that we opened a specific store to get hats because everybody wanted your hat still makes my life. I love that. That's it. Announcement-wise. Everybody wanted to complete their Josh cosplay.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
When is your birthday, Josh? It can be
a few months ago.
Yeah,
a few months ago. Okay, so every day on your birthday, everyone just dresses up as you.
Oh, man.
We actually dressed up as him for a game very early on in our campaign.
It is simultaneously flattering because they're much better looking versions of Josh than I am, and horrific at the same time.
On Maine. How dare you?
Let's
That's the female version of you. How dare you?
Deflecting away from this conversation, how about we ask some questions, huh?
Let's do that.
So, hold on. Okay, so this is our mini painting show, and so we usually kind of show minis. So Parker and I are going to show what we're working on, and then you're going to tell the audience what you're working on. So Parker, what do you got for us? What beautiful masterpiece.
So a couple weeks ago, Josh painted one of these. So this is a Froghemoth. It's huge and terrifying. But I will be painting it to look like a poison dart frog. because it has to be blue or it's not my brand. So that's what I'm doing.
That is such a cool theme to tackle. That's badass. I am painting a barrel mimic, which my camera's doing a terrible job of showing you all, but I'll do a better job at the end of the show. I will post
pictures. Will be up on Instagram.
Yeah, Parker's got pics coming. So yeah, barrel mimic. Good times always for all parties. Holder, what you got? What are you working on?
So I'm working on buttons. I'm gonna show you the little sleeve that I've already finished because I needed to see if it actually worked. So this is my pirate jacket for Celine in the Tankers and Treasures podcast. It's a purple, beautiful purple jacket that I bought on Amazon, American Amazon. So I had to buy it off an American Amazon, send it to a friend of mine to then send it to me. Which is great when you live in a country that doesn't have Amazon. They actually have like plastic black buttons, but I wanted it to be fancy. So these are the buttons that I'm sewing on to make it look even more piratey and fancy and a bit more rustic. So I'm doing the other sleeve right now with the other buttons.
It's gorgeous.
So it looks fancy. Thank you. And then we're going to work on military braiding on the vest bit. And this is the most like cosplay crafting I've done in years because I just haven't had the time with the education and school and stuff. So I'm very excited to be sewing again.
Back at it, back on it, and
back at it.
So now you've said you have painted minis before, right? Like you've done.
No.
No.
So my dad bought, because he thought it was going to be easy, bought Gloomhaven for Christmas.
Oh boy.
If you know what that is.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Oh yeah, I heard of this really cool board game. We'll learn it for the evening, and then everyone can play." It had taken us 4 days to learn the rules, and they have little minis attached to them. So I thought I'll just paint one of those minis. But all the stores are closed, and my mother does water painting, and I was like, "That's not gonna work, is it?" So we're on to buttons instead.
I mean, that's other. Well, I look forward to seeing your Gloomhaven mini when you get around to it. Those are some really pretty minis. Really.
Yeah, those are really pretty. I have the little small explosive guy, the one with the heart. I can't remember his name right now.
Oh yeah.
I call him like the name I've given him is Greg, just because he looked like a Greg. So
when in
Greg
doubt,
is his name.
Yeah.
When in doubt, call it Greg.
That's perfect. Oh my gosh. All right. Well.
All right. With that, I think we get into our official questions. So I think the first one is mine. How did you get into D&D?
So, I've been in the cosplay community and the LARPing community for, oh gosh, this year's going to be over a decade, which makes me feel, which is not a really nice thing to say. And with the cosplay and LARPing community comes D&D. And I think it was the guy I was with at the time watched Critical Role, but I wasn't really looking. And then another friend of mine, who is actually a player also on Call of Dice, said, "Oh, I want to do a campaign, but Pathfinder." So I played Pathfinder for a couple of months. And then, yeah, which was fun. It was a fun little introduction because I didn't know anything. I just let's just do that. And then I played and then I, got into Critical Role, and then I played D&D with a couple of friends I met at a convention, who is now, the same friend is now the DM on Tankards. And yeah, it's just escalated from there, from one campaign into another, into a podcast, into Twitch streaming. And it's now consumed my life.
That's amazing.
I feel like that's how it goes.
It really does.
I feel like that's like every person we've ever talked to is like, so one day I played and then I never stopped.
Oh, it really is like a bit of a drug. So you've got all this experience.
It's
Go ahead.
But at least I started with Pathfinder, because then D&D was so much easier.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's a trial by fire starting with Pathfinder. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I didn't know any better, so I just yeah,
sure,
why not? Sure. I'm very much a yes and kind of person. So if someone tells me, "Do you want to do that?" I'm like, okay. Do you want to try this? Okay. Is it difficult? Probably. Are you sure? I don't know. I said yes, so it's too late now.
No backing out. And Pathfinder's a very fun system. It is cool. Like, it's a good way to get introduced to TTRPGs.
It really is. And I enjoyed it a lot.
So you ended up in D&D. So here's the first of a series of very important questions.
Of course.
What is your favorite class to play in Dungeons and Dragons?
I'm gonna be a little shit and say rogue.
Ooh, good choice. Tell us more.
Well, a bard would be the obvious choice because I have a musical theatre degree, so I'm literally, my whole life has been like what a bard's would be. But I just love the thought of just being sneaky and stabbing, and I like range combat as well. But I'm now fallen completely in love, again, with Tankers and Treasures, with playing a swashbuckler, because then you get rogue, but you also get the flair that bards get when they play with like rapiers and stuff. You get sneak attack with one-on-one combat if there are allies near you and there's no enemies next to you. You get I get now 3d6s plus 1d8 plus on stuff for just swishing a blade, and it just makes me really happy. And I just love all the criminal backgrounds on it, being a bit shady, and just the personalities you can create with a rogue as well. It's one of my favorite book characters are usually rogues. So I just love being a little sneaky bastard. But then again, being really, what's it called? I like putting my worst personalities into a character and just blow it out of proportion because I like them having a character development. So why not start with the worst of the worst and then see where it goes?
Go from there.
Yeah, exactly.
Swashbucklers have so much swag. Like they're such a
they
are a swag class.
Really swag, and and I don't need to be put on the spot if I need to sing and heal someone. I'm like, nah. Also, I'm magic confuses me in D&D. Not confuses me, it's hard. I respect any spellcaster. Anyone who mains wizard, I salute you, because I like just stabbing things. And that's it. If I need to think about spell slots and what spell and then strategize with that, I just get a panic attack. So I'm just gonna stab and hopefully hit, and that's it.
I have a theory.
Yeah, that's fair.
I have a theory and I want to test it. And that theory is that dungeon masters, people who dungeon master, tend to play punch classes or stab classes because there's less thinking when you're playing, and you're already doing a lot of thinking when you're having to dungeon master. So you're like, when I'm playing, I just want to sit back and smash shit. That's my
You know what?
That's my theory.
That is so fair. That is actually, I'll take it. I'll let you play with that theory because
we'll gather data. We'll gather analytics. We'll see one day.
Yeah.
This is our new research project.
There's definitely what I do with Celine is like when I after I've done so much work as a DM because I'm doing 2 campaigns, and I'm a very newbie DM, so I don't know what I'm doing with myself. I just said sure. So
amazing.
After I've done so much thinking and plotting and backstory and emotionally scarring them, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna play a little dumbass and not think for 2-3 hours.
A whole mood.
Why not?
Absolutely. Oh my gosh.
I feel like that's you looking at Brothos right now, Josh.
It's such a mood. Like, it's literally, I'm the exact same way. I feel that statement.
So,
just having fun.
Do you have a favorite race to play?
I think, again, this is very self-insert, but I do like halflings just because I'm very short, and I do like the thought of being small but powerful trope.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really loving wood elves though, because they have 35 feet of movement, and that's always really helpful. I also like human. I just like the thought of someone who appears weak to be strong and surprise everyone. And again, I think that is me projecting onto something that I need to talk to my therapist about. But that's for another time. But I just like the little people,
the little folk.
fighting back. Yeah, the little folk.
The overcoming all
halflings
odds.
Halflings and humans are great. Though I am loving the wood elves as well.
Very cool, very cool. So, you kind of told us about your favorite class. Is there a class you haven't played yet that you want to try out?
well, classes that I haven't tried, so many. Classes that I want to try out, I've tried, like, kind of, I did a Christmas episode where I played a life cleric.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of fun. I think a sorcerer would be fun, just because I like the thought that their magic is very, is from themselves and is very explosive and unpredictable, and I think that would be a lot of fun to roleplay with, especially if the character, for example, is from a family that doesn't like magic and they had like kind of like an Elsa situation.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Born with magical powers, Anna, all that, Olaf stuff. I just like that. That just sounds like a lot of fun, roleplay wise, because I do think of things annoyingly as an actor. I'm like, ooh, what kind of character could I build in with this tragic backstory, and what would be fun to roleplay and build on instead of multi-classing. Though artificers I've been eyeing artificers a tiny bit. I don't think I'm clever enough to play an artificer, but those are really cool. I think artificers are very underrated class.
I think it's amazing. No, you're good. I think it's amazing that you were like, I don't want to play magic casters, but also was like also a sorcerer who is possibly like one of the harder magic classes to understand. You were like, but that for the aesthetic and story, and I love that.
That's wonderful. Yeah,
I am a walking contradiction. Like wizards, nah. Like clerics, maybe. I have played a warlock, which is why I know that spellcasters are hard, and it stressed me out so much. I played Celestial Warlock once, which was really fun, but it's stressful to play a Celestial Warlock when you're playing what's the one where you go into then one of the 9 hells.
Into the Abyss.
It's really big. Yes.
Yes. Excellent.
It's really hard being Celestial Warlock into the Abyss when all of the demons are trying to make deals with you and you're playing Lawful Good. Oh, man.
that was like tricky.
It's like I was on the broom and then this like little demon came on and I'm trying to like all my party were trying to walk away and try to hide from it while I was distracting it. I was like, no, you know what? Thank you for asking, but I'm actually in a deal with someone else right now. But I really appreciate you asking me, though. That's really I love the communication going on here. When it was like a really big like demon with wings, and it was really scary. But she's like, no, you know what? I enjoy that you've opened this conversation. I'm so sorry.
Like where you're coming from,
yeah. But this character
you seem like a great guy, but I'm in a relationship.
Exactly.
Yeah, you seem great.
You seem lovely. The coffee was so much fun. Loved the movie that we went to, but the vibe isn't there.
I'm actually here with my friends.
I'm here with my friends. That's a good one.
Oh man, it was great, but my lord, is Magicus difficult.
It's especially because you have so much like that you can do, but you can't do with the only 2 spell slots.
Yeah.
That is hard.
That's a resource management class for sure.
Resource management, yeah.
Oh man. So after that, I was like, maybe not. Maybe just not. Maybe not.
Valid.
I think it's my turn.
You are up, boss.
Too much. Is there a race you want to try that you haven't given a chance yet?
I want to play a Genasi, I think. I haven't tried Genasis.
After my heart.
Yes.
They're so good.
Yeah, that is definitely a race I've never tried that I really, really want to, just because they seem fun.
We've got 2 in our campaign, which was surprising.
It was very surprising. It was great.
And they play very differently. And just the backstory you can do with the or exactly. You just hand it to your DM and wait and wonder. It's also great.
My wife plays a Genasi as well.
Oh my god.
She loves it. Big fan.
So much fun.
It seems like a lot of fun.
They are just so unique across the different elements too. Like it's just a neat thing to.
Yes, exactly. I don't know which. I haven't really looked into which Genasi I would do, but I think Air is the one that I'm like leaning into. But I need to do some more research. But that is definitely. Oh no.
That's my wife did
yeah.
air, and she loves having levitate just available. It's cool.
Oh.
It's a neat little bit of utility there for you.
Exactly. I just love, flying away from my problems. Just seems like a really good thing to have.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. Like, come on, can you help us? No, sorry.
Sorry.
I'm done today. Thank you very much.
So you've given us the race you want to try next. Now, we've
Yeah.
asked you about your favorites. What's your least favorite class to play?
Again, I haven't played that many, but the thought of playing a wizard, not that I hate wizards, but the stress level of playing a wizard just doesn't appeal to me.
You've kind of already answered this question, and I'm just re-asking it. But
that's okay. But I think also paladin doesn't entice me.
Really?
I don't know why. It's the righteous thing. Again, as someone who likes playing rogue,
You just gotta do the Oathbreaker.
that's the thing. That's the thing. I think I would rather play an NPC who was an Oathbreaker than an actual player character who was. Yeah, definitely. I don't think Paladin would be my thing. I see people that do Paladin, and I love their characters. It's just, I don't know, not my vibe. I like being a little shit, and it's a bit difficult being a little shit when you're a Paladin. I feel, because they're so righteous and goody two-shoes.
I have that problem with clerics.
Yeah.
I feel like that sometimes with like specific domains of clerics.
Yeah, there are certain domains that are just 100%.
I can deal with clerics. It's something with paladins that I
just kind of seem like the stuck-up knights. They seem like the guard at the gate NPC that you're like, you didn't get hugged enough. Something's wrong.
This is clearly a power fantasy for you, Paladin.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's probably why, because of all of the knights and lops that I just couldn't deal with.
As a medieval actor, that makes 100% sense.
Oh my god. There's this one group that, like, I've again LARPed for years. Freaking love all of my Nordic LARP friends. Nordic LARP is something special. But there's this, and I've said this loudly. If this person finds me here and sees this, I will tell it straight to his face. I have no problem with that. But that freaking group and that one guy really ruined one of the entire experiences, because
Imagine just beating him.
Oh, I was so ready, and everyone else was ready. Everyone else was just ready, and there were like things he would just do, like flip an entire table when we were doing a meeting, but not even in a cool way. Just like, oh, you were just doing this to be a dick.
Oh no!
Just to be...
Like, you don't just flip tables. We are renting this cabin. You don't just destroy property, please.
You know how you said I like to start with a character that's like the worst? I think it would be very interesting for you to make an NPC that's that guy, that's a paladin, and just like make him better somehow. Be like, if I could fix your life, here's how I'd do it. Here's the lesson you need to learn.
Or I make it him, make it obnoxious, and make my characters beat him up.
Ooh.
Yes.
As like catharsis for myself. Wow, I'm really showing my true colors here.
Listen,
like, I promise you, I'm a nice person. I just can't deal with bullshit. I just can't.
I like watching you simultaneously like lay into this horrible person, and then Parker being like, "Yes, Queen, yes, more, yes," and this. So good.
Do it.
Lean into it.
So good.
Teach him a lesson.
That is what quarantine has made me. Has just made me even like, I don't know, just not care anymore. And I just like, my time is so precious now that if someone tries to steal it, I'm like, no, you're not worth it.
You're not worth it.
No. Well, you have to take a survey before even talking to me. Thank you very much, and I'll review it in 5 to 3 business days.
Is that what that was?
I've learned to value myself.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my goodness. Is there a race that you just aren't interested in or don't want to play again?
I'm gonna break
Josh's heart? That's okay, I've already done it. Go ahead, do it.
I'm gonna say dwarves.
There we go.
How?
I'm so sorry. I know that's a thing that you want every guest to say the dwarves are the best species and all that, but I
gotta go.
erase. But I'm
I
so
gotta
sorry. I'm so sorry.
You're good. You're good. It's okay. I'm just processing this now. This infinite betrayal. No.
You know what? That is pretty much my brand, so I'll take it.
It's the rogue in you. No.
It is literally. I'm sewing my little rogue right now. She's just coming through. And she's even worse than this.
So
again, I'm just having fun with just being a little shit.
Yeah.
And just not listening.
So tell us why no dwarves? Why no dwarves? Just the fantasy of them?
No, it just doesn't appease me. Like, I just really like halflings because I like the thought of like a small thing being really like I think it's a hobbit thing in me, isn't it? It's the Frodo hobbit thing that it just makes me really happy. But dwarves, I don't know. I think it's the macho-ness of dwarves that that doesn't really appease me. I know that's not really true because female dwarves are also really cool, but it's just that bulky macho-ness, very strong, but it can also be really gentle. I know I'm putting the stereotype on there, but it just doesn't. Just not my.
That's valid.
Yeah,
that's valid. It's it is what it is. It's just my feelings and emotions is all.
Oh.
I'm just
I'll
giving
make
you
it
a
up
hard time.
to you. I'll make it up to you one day. I don't know how. But I will. And then in 5 years' time, I'll make it up to you. Find a little package on your porch. In 5 years' time, like, remember that one time I said something bad about dwarves? Here's a chocolate bar, isn't it?
Yeah, that's perfect. That's all it takes. Literally, is a chocolate bar.
If Josh and my friendship has made it through this, and Sean and my friendship has made it through his Ranger comments, we're open to all opinions.
We'll be okay. Well, you're safe and you're free. And I've got enough sound bites from you in this episode that don't worry, we'll fix it in post. You definitely really like dwarves.
Okay, that's fair. No worries. My boyfriend has a bachelor's degree in post production, so I know how this goes.
So then it's going to be turned around. It'll be being like, man, halflings are the best. Oh, I just said. Well, I just made his job easy. So okay, all of this D&D, you've got so much experience here. You're DMing, you're running shows. How did you get into content creation? Like, what is your origin story words?
My villain origin story. I think content. So that's a funny thing because I don't know when content, like having an Instagram begins and being content creator begins, if that makes sense.
Valid.
Like I've always had an Instagram for my cosplay and stuff, like because I've been in the cosplay community for a while and LARPing, so I've just had an Instagram. I did have a Facebook for my music before, but I was so bad at updating it that never really got anywhere. And then I moved to England and then it became a bit more difficult. But when it comes to like TikTok, I started literally a year and a couple of days ago.
Oh, happy anniversary!
And I just posted one video of cosplaying, and then it just continued. It was just fun while I was thing to do after school, and then COVID struck, and and a way for me to not go insane was to cosplay every single day. And I cosplayed every single day for quarantine. And there were times I did 3 cosplays that day.
Oh, gods.
And now I do one once a week. I don't understand where that energy came from. But I just did so much. And then I suddenly started doing Harry Potter stuff. And that's when it kind of blew up. And then it just escalated from there, where I started, getting really cool mutuals. We started collaborating on stories and OCs, and then more cosplay stuff. And then suddenly I had a big following, and then I felt responsible for, doing more. And then I got a Patreon. I got, more active on Twitter. Then I, started, contacted you, and I was like, how to stream things? And it just kind of escalated from nothing into, oh god, I have nothing to do and I don't want to go insane, to this.
And here we are.
Here we are.
Ugh. Well, you're killing it with Twitch. I mean, it's awesome. And you're killing it with all of them. But it is really awesome to see your channel growing and the show is continuing. And
well, it's all thanks to you, though. If I didn't have that one-on-one session of like, how do you do things? And you were like, if Youth Pastor Ryan can do it, anyone can. So here you go.
Wow, you did it. You said that.
You did say that.
He's never gonna talk to me again!
He's never gonna talk to Josh again. He's never ever gonna talk to Josh again.
I don't know if I'm putting you in a blast right now, but that just gave me so much hope. And I was like, okay, I can do this.
Ryan, you're wonderful and you're very talented.
He meant the setup.
Man, I mean, but that's you were so much fun to work with too. You have so much unlimited, I think, enthusiasm. I've never sat down to rattle technical jargon off to someone and have them be like, "Oh my," and you were bouncing out of your seat.
I get very excited very easily. What I kind of pride myself in is that I'm very easy to please. Like, you can literally gave me a rock that you found on the sideway and said, "I thought of you," and I will start crying. I'm seriously you can some friends of mine just send me good morning Snapchats, and it literally makes my entire day. So when someone sits with me and is teaching me something, I have no idea what's going on about, and I get it, and it just makes me really excited, and I'm like, oh my god, so this is a thing? I didn't even know that. I get very enthusiastic really quickly.
Well, the enthusiasm, it's contagious. It's so much fun to work with you. Yeah, it's always a delight. Oh my
Thank you. That makes me really happy.
Anytime. All right, Parker, I think we're on to the last question of ours. So, guys, be ready. Start getting your questions ready for Hulda if you want to ask. The easiest way for us to see them is if you highlight them. It would be awesome if you did that. If not, some other folks with channel points might highlight yours for you. It's just easier for us to check. But there's a sample question in chat, and we're going to ask our final question, and then we're going to open up the floor to y'all.
Yes.
So, I think it's my question.
It is,
What
boss.
is your biggest hobby outside of D&D?
Well, it's so boring to say cosplay, isn't it? So,
No, that's a great answer.
I feel like no, but that's something I do though, and everyone knows that. I wish I had something really exciting like juggling or something like that, but I'm very dyspraxic, so that would never happen.
Whoa, word of the day.
Like a hobby.
That's
Dyspraxic?
incredible. Wow, big vocab drop. Sorry.
Do you know what that is?
I have please.
So you know what?
I mean, I totally know for the audience.
Dyslexia is. Oh yeah, of course. So dyspraxia is like the easiest way to describe it is like dyslexia, but your body. So I really struggle with eye and hand coordination. That's why I've never really played video. I did before, but I'm really bad at video games like with the controller because I can't do the triggers really like confuse me. Left and right is really bad. That's why I'm really slow at like picking up dance choreography where if everyone's arms is like in second, which is like here, like out, but it has to be in front, my arms will like be in the back here and I will think it's right there. I have really like a faint version of it, but that's why I can't juggle without hitting myself in the face. I bump into things because I genuinely think I'm maybe going straight through the door and then I go straight into the side of the door because I didn't have any peripheral where my body was compared to like where I actually was.
That's amazing.
So yeah, that's.
I mean, it's not amazing. I'm sorry that happens to you.
No, not at all. No. It's so chill. It's I thought it was just a quirky personality thing. I still do. It's easier to think that way. It's like, yeah, I'm like the YN Wattpad that's always super clumsy and like meets the love interest that way.
I love
but
that.
yeah, no. What I was gonna say, yeah, cosplay I guess is the biggest hobby. I also love making playlists, like Spotify playlists, which I do a lot for my Patreons. Really enjoy doing that. And then I found a new love on Pinterest, again D&D related, where I love making, and creating a world because I'm too stubborn to read through all the lore in the books. I'm like, I'm gonna make it myself. So
Homebrew.
I made it because again, I just I can't sit down and read stuff. So I'll make it harder for myself. But yeah, I make Pinterest boards out of countries to try to help myself with lore and create worlds within that. So that's a lot of fun.
That's amazing. That's
and I know it's not a hobby because of my profession, but I am a professional singer and an actor, so I guess that's also a thing.
That's also a thing. One of the many, many things that you do.
Yeah, again, I just like keeping myself busy.
So, I think that means we're on to the fan questions now. So,
yes!
Here we go.
I'm excited.
Number 1 is from our dear friend Tanner Mythalador, who's an amazing mod, and he asks, if you could cast Find Familiar in real life, what would your familiar be?
Oh, I think it would be a bunny.
Aww.
I have a rabbit tattoo on my ankle, so I think it would definitely be a rabbit. I would be really surprised if it was like any like either a rabbit or a squirrel. I also like to think it would be a little nightingale because I'm obsessed with birds and ducks. But if I'm going to be honest with myself, it would be a rabbit.
I think it's great that you just said I'm obsessed with ducks because our mod that just asked that question owns a bunch of ducks.
He's a duck fan.
He is a big duck fan. No.
No way! I absolutely love ducks. They're one of my favorite animals in the world. When we did animal studies, we can pick any animal in the world, and I chose ducks. I studied ducks for an entire semester.
That's amazing.
That's adorable.
You did a semester duck study? You just became the most interesting person on the planet.
We had to embody the animal, Josh. I embodied the duck.
I love that.
That's why. If you watch my streams, there's always a bird somewhere doing some bullshit, and I will just like puppeteer the bird with my hand and just do that for the entire stream if I'm like doing the bird. It's insane, and my players think I'm insane, but you know, I'm putting my degree into use.
That's right. Stand by
fucking semester.
Anywhere you can.
All the immersion. That's commitment to your world building is what that is, and it's impressive.
Yes, exactly.
What has been asking? I believe this is Library of Lost Tales is asking what has been an unforgettable moment in one of your games, one particularly favorite moment.
Oh yeah. Oh, favorite moment or unforgettable?
Or it doesn't have to be favorite. You're right. Unforgettable is the question. I misarticulated it.
There would be, I think, there's one part in Tankers of Treasures that I'm not going to say because that episode hasn't come out yet. But there is one in when I DM'd for the first time. This is the reason I don't write my games anymore. Mm-hmm. I just write a tiny bit of note and then I improv the entire thing later. But there was one session that I wrote in incredible detail, but I made the ending very open because I wanted to see what they would do. Mm-hmm. And the first group did everything that I wrote down to a T. Like they saved the princess from the alley, they went to the library and you know, studied the things that were there, and then they went to the dinner, and the dinner became a party. Then suddenly one of the knights comes in, and oh my god, the princess is missing. The king sends them on a mission to find the princess, to find her, but she has a love affair with the vigilante that supposedly kidnapped her, but she faked her own kidnapping to run off with him. So the ending is, will they try to convince her to go back to the kingdom, or help her escape the kingdom because her dad's tyrant and all of that stuff? Mm-hmm. The other group, they did the thing in the beginning, kind of, but they killed the thief that attacked her in the alleyway, which was one thing I didn't even expect them to do. And then after the library, they get really suspicious of the princess, thinking that she's the vigilante. They go into her room, find out that her room is trashed, but one of them disguises himself as the princess and has dinner with the king. So now no one knows that she's missing. And I had to improv an entire dinner sequence with the king. They meet each other later. Two of them get really bad and go to the king and tell him what has happened, but are so bad at it that they almost get killed and executed.
Oh my god.
And I'm sitting here this is the second session I've ever DM'd as well, so I was stressed that of my fucking mind.
Freaking out.
And then I got them to the line. I'm like, oh god, maybe at the end they will be fine. And then they decide, no, you know what? Let's kill the king. Let's assassinate the king. And I just felt my body, like my soul leave my body. And I was like, you know, the vigilante does it for you guys, because I cannot do an entire session where you try to sneak into the castle, then try to murder the king, then try to run out again, and then maybe get, you know. I was like, no. So that was a very memorable moment. I'm like, I'm gonna do like a skeleton, and I'm just gonna let them feel the meat in the bones. Oh my lord, I get stressed now. And I had to play it so calmly, but they know what they did. They know what they did.
Do they wear it like a badge of honor too? Is it one of those?
No.
Like... Oh, really?
Oh, no. Because I remind them in the worst DM way. Do you know when you try to, you know, when you absolutely wrecked my entire game? Not the direct, because it ended up being a good story. But you know when you stress me the fuck out? Yeah, remember that? I'll make your life a living hell now because I'm the DM and I can do it.
Do you remember that time you took everything off the rails Friday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern?
Oh my god, the segue. Oh boy.
Sorry.
Oh, heaven.
Plug.
No, enough to go. Plug. I love a little shameless plug.
Yeah, it's a little shameless plug.
Sorry, I just went entirely there. Sorry. Next question.
No, that was amazing. That is a memorable moment for certain. Let's see what else we got here. Pins ask, Pin Snip, another good, amazing friend of ours.
Pin Snip.
Yes. Also a talented cosplayer. If you could make any book series into an RPG, which book would you choose? And is there a character from the series that you would like to play?
Oh, like, what do you mean? Like RPG D&D style? Like a video game RPG? Like
I think
anything. But probably, like, think about maybe TTRPG?
Yeah. Like, if you could take a character into D&D, who would you take?
Ooh, I think first book series, I think some people have like talked about it already in the chat, but Six of Crows would be an incredible tabletop RPG. There's so many worlds and there's so many like powers and different people. And I think Nina Zenik, who is a heartrender, so her powers is that she can control people's organs.
Good God.
So they're usually soldiers on the front line because you know they can stop people's heart, but she uses her powers to control people's emotions. Because they can do that as well, not quite emotions, but like their pulse and stuff. I think she would be a really cool character to play, and I think the Six of Crows duology would be an insanely cool TTRPG to play with, especially if you read the entire Grishaverse. You get it.
Six of Crows. I'm gonna have to look this up.
It's on my book
yes,
list.
I
have a couple of friends that
are agreeing with me. Yes.
Okay.
I have a couple of friends that cosplay from it, and every time they're just like, could you read this? And I'm like, I'll get there, I promise.
Okay.
I've just cosplayed Nina as well that I posted, and I got Mythical Rose as well to read the books finally, and they were like, why haven't I read this before? I'm like, I don't know, but
you're welcome.
That's such a friend thing though, where it's like, I told you to read this months ago, and I know like one of the reasons I haven't read it yet is because I know that Pins, who asked that question, is gonna be like, I told you to read this months ago, and I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Oh yeah. I mean, literally one of the best books I have read in a while, and it's one of those books that I wish I didn't read it because now I know what happens. I want to reread it again without knowing it. And people are really nice in the chat saying my Nina's really good. Thank you so much, guys. That means a lot to me. She is my. And it's also really nice having a female character in a book series who has a healthy relationship with food. I know it's such a small thing, but for women, having the bigger girl who's also tall be the sexiest and be the most confident and have a healthy relationship with food, and no one questions it, and all men love her because they literally describe her as someone who enjoys life. It's something else, and it made me love Nina and the books and the author just even more because she writes trauma and female characters just so and queer because it's Ocean's 11 but put it in a fantasy setting and make it queer.
Amazing.
That is what Six of Crows is.
I'm sold, man.
It is so good. And
we'll start a book club, Josh.
Yeah, we did a book club.
Yes.
Ugh, that's amazing. Okay, so another very similar question here we've got for you.
Yeah.
If you could turn any musical into a D&D or other TTRPG campaign, which one would you choose? This is from the amazing Just a Singing Geek, fantastic person. Love you all.
As someone with a musical theater degree, this is straight up my alley. Oh God, there's so many choices. Because I'm very much into like these. Gosh, oh no, now like
That's a hard one.
Now your
not
brain's
cats.
got a
I'm just
billion
gonna say
answers.
not cats.
Okay.
Not cats. I hate Cats, the musical, so much with a fiery burning passion. I think this is a very a small musical. Not a lot of people know about it because it flopped on Broadway. But Tuck Everlasting, the musical, would be a fun one, isn't it? Thank you. Oh my God, look at the notes. I wrote a dissertation on it. It's a beautiful musical.
Oh.
I teach voice. One of my kids did a song from Tuck Everlasting, and I was just like, "How did you find this?" And I'm so happy about this. I was like, "How did you come in with this idea?"
This is Tuck Everlasting. It's a beautiful musical, and I think it would be really fun to play with the immortality of the Tuck family, and maybe one of the play one of the brothers, that goes through time and has to deal with that. Maybe we put in some special magic powers there, and have some fun with that because it's all about the river and the trees and living forever, and I think that would be a really fun world and TTRPG on that one. That's the first one that can come to mind. I promise you that after this, I'll be like, oh, no, wait, this musical will be better. But, I'll stick with it.
You were well equipped to answer that question. Impressive.
Thank you.
Now, I think we've got, let's see, our next question here is from Pins again. What's one magical item you would like to bring into your world? In the real world, excuse me. One magical item you'd like to use here.
This is such a little silly thing, but the Ring of Cold Resistance.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I live in Norway. We have a snowstorm right now outside my window, and we had to buy a radiator for this room because there's no heating exactly in this part of the house. So I think, and then I could just swim in the ocean. I could just jump into the ocean and not be cold, like small things like that just would have made my life so much easier. Yeah, so that was such a silly small thing, but the Ring of Cold Resistance would be really nice.
That may be the best thought out answer to that question I have ever heard. That's amazing.
I've thought about this. That's the worst part, that I've genuinely thought about this.
Yeah. Library of Lost Tales asks, is there a system, so like Pathfinder and things like that, outside of D&D and Pathfinder that you particularly enjoy? If not, is there a system you would like to try out in the future? So like Starfinder or, I'm drawing Shadowrun. Gosh,
that's such a good
Blades in the Dark.
Shadowrun, definitely. So, this is a fun thing. So I've the first LARP that I ever LARPed was Vampire Requiem and Vampire the Masquerade.
Wow.
I LARPed those. So I've never played it. On tabletop. So I think that one would be really fun. There's also a game that, again, I'm such a Critical Role nerd, but there's a game that they played on Valentine's Day that had like ghouls and vampires, but put it in a high school setting.
That one was really cute.
Yeah, that was cute.
Yeah, I really like that one. I think that one would be fun to try as well. Again, just the roleplay heavy ones would, again, it just hits different,
Give me that roleplay.
Give me that roleplay. Give me that sob stories. Give me all of it. Give me the backstabbing. The enemies to lovers to enemies to friends to death. All of that good shit.
We have very similar taste.
Yes.
Yes, good. I love it.
Let's see. Scrolling down just a wee bit. What? Let's see. This is from Just a Singing Geek. What is your favorite moment in a game that resulted from a critical success and or failure? So a crit success or failure moment that really sticks out to you. Do you have any of those?
Yeah. I can actually say this because this episode isn't Tankers of Treasures. It was when we got a quest to go. I feel like our DM wanted us to do this, but it was still a failure on our end that made this happen. So we were going to oh god, there are two in the freaking podcast, but I'll do this one. So it was when we got a mission to go to a specific place, to go to Kraken's grave, which we're trying to find this type of sand that is gonna help us find out how to, with like time, and like there's a thing that happened. There's a ship that sank there, and we're trying to find out how. And there's a Kraken involved, and we will go to this place, and then suddenly there's a maelstrom. Is that how you say it in English?
Maelstrom.
Yeah, maelstrom.
That's perfect.
Yeah. Maelstrom that suddenly happens, and we need to do all the rolls for the ship to try not to get sunk into the maelstrom. And it was so stressful. And because we failed so many times, we got sucked into the water plane. And our entire campaign now is trying to get out of the water plane. And we're literally like gambling with the mafia at this point, trying to get the map. And it's really exciting, but you know, it was really cool now, but holy fuck was it stressful when we get sucked into them. Like, oh my god, we're in a different plane. We're not. No. We're not supposed to be. Celine genuinely thought that she was dead. Like, oh my god, we're a ghost ship. Oh my god, we're a ghost ship. We can be ghost pirates. We can be ghost pirates. And then that. Oh god. And then there was another one where again, Celine is a very compulsive liar, and we got into a bit of trouble, but I rolled high enough persuasion and deception to get us out of there. But one of our players doesn't have high wisdom, and he cracks jokes at very wrong timings. And none of us hate this player for this, because again, his character would do this. And then he says, right when we walk out, "Oh, I'm so glad they didn't figure out that we were pirates."
Oh my god.
And we got thrown into jail, and there was a whole, like, we got questioned, and this was the second episode. And we were like, for fuck's sake. This was, why? This is putting the foundation of everything in this freaking party.
That's how it is now.
This is like, oh, I'm so glad we didn't figure out we were pirates. And it's like, what did you guys say? And I'm like, fuck. No, they hang pirates and they use them as like, you know, in front of the freaking town to show that pirates are not welcome here. This is not a good thing.
Like, warning, dead pirates. Oh no.
Yes.
Oh
but
boy.
My character was the only pirate. The rest weren't, which made it even worse. I'm like, no, it's just me.
You just threw everyone else under the bus. Ugh.
God, that was stressful. That was incredibly stressful. But like those like critical fail moments that just, do something.
Well, Vault asks, as a player, if you could play as any monster, which would you choose and why? So if you could play as a monster in D&D, which monster would you play?
Oof, I have two answers. One is like, I'm an actor. And the other one is like, meh, that would be fun. So a gelatinous cube.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent
because
choice.
Why not? I just want to be a gelatinous cube. That just sounds fun. And then the second one would be a green chromatic dragon.
Ooh.
Because they are manipulative, and everything they do is lying and deceit, and it's all about politics for them. Like, the other dragons are evil in a way, but the green dragons, it's just their own gain, but they're clever enough to figure out a way to do it.
Yeah, they're better at that sort of.
Yeah, and that sounds like a lot of fun. But, you know, if I just want to be gelatinous cube, I could just chill, you know, and just eat stuff.
Always good choices. Always good choices.
Yes.
Let's see. Death Dealer asked, saddest or happiest moment in a D&D game that made your game halt to appreciate the moment? This is a good question. Saddest or happiest moment?
I can't say it. I can't say one of them because the episode is not out yet.
Oh, that's fair.
Oh no, but there is one, I can vaguely say it. There is one moment in an episode that comes out 2 Mondays from now on Tankards where something really big happens. And my entire character, and Celine goes into an emotional breakdown and doesn't know who she is anymore. And she's been the cocky, loud, annoying little shit the entire campaign. And this is the first time she's ever shown real emotion and just breaks down. And that was really fun to play with because she's the golden child, the one who's always gotten her way even though her life has been bad. That one moment that she sees something that she holds really dear happens and her whole world just collapses right in front of her. And I can't tell you what it is yet, which is annoying.
Here's the thing, guys. You need to tune into Tankards. What's the Twitch URL? 2 weeks to get in on this action. Where do they need to go?
Buzzsprout is where we have all the episodes. You can download the episodes on Buzzsprout, but it's also on Apple iTunes, and you can also find it on Spotify. So yeah, the first episode we didn't have any music because our DM, had never really edited sound before. So if you can just get through the first 3 episodes where we're quite new and the editing is not as smoothly as it is now, I promise you it is very much worth it. You did get a tiny bit of spoiler that we end up in the plane of water with no idea what we're doing, but it is all fun. I did so many Little Mermaid jokes and
perfect
that we needed to cut out because of copyright. Because I just started singing Under the Sea, and our DM was like, "You can't do that. Now we have to pause for edit. Stop singing Little Mermaid songs." Exactly.
Yeah.
So I just had to do vague puns like, I want to try to look for a singing crab. Can I please make a perception check to look for a singing crab called Sebastian, please?
That's amazing.
Yes, thank you so much, Library of Lost Tales. Yes, there it is.
Good. Thank you, Mons, for working so hard as you always do.
Thank you.
Our next question is from the incredible Auburn alchemist, Parker's wife.
Oh,
also Josh's wife. Hi, wife.
Hi, wife.
Oh, I've met you once before. Hello.
Hey. It's a really good question. How has your experience playing TTRPGs impacted you outside of the game? And guys, I will say really quick as you think on this answer, we are getting close to the end. We're past our hour now, so maybe one more question after this, and then we'll close it up. Thank you all, though, for all these amazing questions. So, sorry, passing it right back to you.
No, that's true. I think thinking outside the box a lot, like the theater of the mind, because I usually play with theater of the mind. So I've become a lot better at improv and taking bold choices. I'm thinking as an actor, as a working actor, like taking bold choices and just having fun with it. Because one thing that I sometimes forget, especially when I'm acting, is, it's a job. But D&D is, helping me realize, not helping realize, but reminding me that it's just a game where if it's not fun, then what's the point? And that's what it should be in the working world as well. So I genuinely think if I'm doing something and I'm thinking, this is not fun, then I'm like, well, why are you doing it then? So that is either very detrimental or very helpful, but I have to be like, okay, this is not fun, but how can I make it fun? Because, and that is something I've taken a lot from D&D, because if something isn't fun, then you make it fun. It's your, like LARPing, for example. If you're out LARPing, if the LARP isn't fun, that's your fault. That you're not the one. Then you're not seeking enough fun or creating enough fun or communicating or trying to explore stories with everyone. So it's, if it's not fun, then what's the point? But then again, if it isn't fun, what can you do about it?
That's such a good answer, honestly.
Thank you.
It's kind of I think it might be the perfect answer to end on, in fact. So you know what we're going to do now is we're going to show folks everything that we've accomplished in our 1 hour here. While we threw hundreds of questions at you, we want to know what your progress is. So, pardon you, here, I'll show what I've done. So, I did get all the base paints down on my barrel mimic. It's not focusing, of course, but we'll post pics. He'll look brass and stuff like that's going to be added later, but looking good. Parker, what'd you get? Oh, look at that spotting.
Oh, that's so good.
Amazing. Look, the tongue's coming in too. 10 out of 10. Masterpiece. I love the
You
eye
did it.
choice too. That black.
Thanks. Yeah, they have little black eyes.
Oh, that's amazing.
So
I adore that.
I gotta shade him, and finish his tongue. But
It's a masterpiece, honestly. That's gorgeous. And
thank you.
last but not least, our wonderful guest. What do you got?
Yeah. I did all the buttons, and now the jacket looks amazing with heavy buttons on both sides. So I am
That's so
very
good.
excited.
I love that color, that purple.
So yeah,
It's so pretty.
yeah. It's not my favorite color, but I like trying to give my characters something they like that I don't like, to give them a little like. So Celine's favorite color is purple, so it had to be purple.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'll try that next time. Everything on Demi is blue.
Well, my friends, thank you all for coming out here, and thank you again. One more time, where can people find everything you're doing,
Yes.
all this work?
Yes.
Oh, no problem. So, you find me most likely everywhere on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and Patreon as A Hobbit's Tale. You can also find me on Twitch as Somewhere Bound, where I DM 2 campaigns. And you can find me again on Tankins and Treasures, since I've been talking about that a lot, on Spotify, everywhere you can listen to podcasts, really. And you can also find me on Call of Dice, where I play a Call of Cthulhu campaign. So, yeah.
God, amazing. Thank you again. Thank you, audience, for your amazing questions. And we
you.
have Off the Rails on Friday, I think, is the next thing. So see y'all
It is.
Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Bye, everybody.
Exciting.
Bye.
And you're